The S&P 500 is beginning to correct after being overvalued for much of the last 2 years. The orange line on this graph is the S&P 500's intrinsic value of around 15. The blue line is the upper end of fair value, which is a PE of 18. And you can see the S&P is significantly higher than that. Hello, everybody. This is Chuck Carnevale, co-founder of Fast Graphs, the Fundamentals Analyzer software tool, welcoming you to part 9 of my series on finding value in the overall market. Now, I just showed you the S&P 500 here in the beginning, being a little bit, being significantly overvalued, but starting to correct a little bit. And, we don't know if that correction is imminent, if it's going to happen this year. But with the threat of rising interest rates being, talked about by the Federal Reserve, there's a very high possibility that all these expensive stocks are vulnerable. So what I did was I went through and I tried to find stocks in every sector that were attractively valued. This is part 9. You can see the other 8 stocks in this, other 8 parts in this series by going back through our videos here on the Fast Graph YouTube channel. But what I'm going to show you today are the stocks that I found, 6 stocks that I found in the materials sector. Now, these all have to be high quality, triple B rated. They all had to meet historical growth rate criteria. So what I'm suggesting is this is not necessarily every stock in this sector that's undervalued, but it's the ones that met the criteria that I used for this screening. I tried to be stringent enough to come up with stocks that had growth potential, rate of return potential, and were actually attractively valued relative to the high valuations I just showed you using, for example, the S&P 500. So let's go through them very quickly. The first one is interesting company. I believe it's Irish. If I go into the external links here and hit the corporate website, this stock is an international company. They do business internationally, mostly I think in Europe. Remember, one thing about this, these are not stocks that I've screened. I've screened them just superficially. I've not researched them deeply is what I'm trying to say. But you can go ahead and look at these. I think the company's headquartered in Ireland. But one thing I want you to note as I go through these material companies, they tend to be very cyclical. They have some strong growth during certain times, like between the last 2 recessions. CRH PLC here grew very quickly. You can see the growth rates were 30, 23, 31%. They had an occasional down year even then mixed in between. Then coming out of the Great Recession, which really didn't affect them directly, the company did see a lot of weakness and the company stayed weak for several years thereafter. And then they began growing again about 2013. And you can see the recent growth. So one thing about using the Fast Graphs tool, it's a dynamic tool. And you want to think when you're using the tool. Don't just look at the graphs and just automatically think you see what you see. Because, for example, if I drop this down to an 11-year graph, I get a really different picture here. I get a 12.8% growth rate. If I go to the max graph, I only get 5.76. So you're always evaluating the time frame you're looking at. So CRH PLC looks attractively valued. The blended PE is about 16.04. The earnings yield is just slightly over 6%. But that's a PE ratio equal to the growth rate over the last 10 years or so. The stock does pay a nice dividend, 2.29%. It does trade on the U.S. stock exchanges here. I don't know very much about this company, but I like this picture. You can see the effects of overvaluation, and you can see that anytime you get an opportunity to buy it inexpensively, it's a good opportunity. The company is forecast to continue growing at about 16%. So this would make it attractive, but doesn't have a margin of safety necessarily, but it is attractively valued right now. Anyway, that was CRH PLC. The next company I'm looking at is Eastman Chemical. Again, I want you to notice the cyclical nature of these stocks. They're actually growing, interestingly enough, but they do have a lot of cyclicality. But, you had a couple of down years here. If I just take those down years off, the growth rate goes from 7.69% to 16.08%. So you want to try to focus on the time frame that you're most interested in. If I look at the last 11 years, and that includes 2 years of estimates, I've got a growth rate of 6.41%. and I've got a normal valuation of 11. So as you're using these tools, those of you who are subscribers to FastGraphs, and of course those of you who aren't, you might want to take a look at it. Take advantage of this flexibility, of this being able to dynamically determine what's happening over more recent times, past times. You can even use the scroll bar function and go into the middle and look at where it was at, time frames. Like here, I'm looking up through 2018. It's before COVID. What did the company look like? That would give you a perspective. Anyway, the stock has a 2.5% dividend yield, nice earnings yield over 7%. Forecast growth is expected to still be 16% going forward. Nice dividend yield, nice record of raising dividends over the last several years. So Eastman Chemical is one that I think is a pretty interesting materials or semi-cyclical materials company. Next stock here I have is FMC Corporation. This is fertilizers and agricultural chemicals. Again, we have good growth at times, but then we have some cyclicality. I think you always need to be aware of that when you're looking at companies in this sector, that there can be periods of time where the cycle, doesn't perform. Now, even during that cycle, the company maintained a good dividend. They recently raised their payout ratio rather dramatically. You can see that by seeing the surge. This area below the white line is the dividend payout ratio. You can point to the graph and see it was paying around 24% out. Now, it's up to about 28%. And of course, now we had a good surge in earnings growth here as well. The stock's a little bit light on valuation. I think it's maybe slightly overvalued right now, but it's one that you might not want to watch. It's actually in the valuation corridor. But again, I like to see a margin of safety when I invest in stocks. But that's for you to determine for yourself. But anyway, FMC looks very attractive here, or at least it looks reasonably attractive here, I should say, slightly overvalued perhaps. The next is LyondellBasell Industries NV, and this is one I've been asked, this is my Subscriber Request Tuesday video, and I've been asked to cover this stock individually, and I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity now when we're doing this, because I want you to see, again, the power and the value of this tool. Now, when you look at this long-term graph, people are saying it looks really, really undervalued. Well, let's study why it looks undervalued. First of all, you have in 1210 here, you have a 971% increase in growth followed by 80%. Now, those are two pretty anomalous years. The company started paying a dividend in 2011. So it might make sense just to cut those years out. So I have to go to the 12-year chart here. And now all of a sudden I've got a 10% grower, normally trades at around 9 times earnings. It had a big spike here, post-COVID. It struggled a little bit in COVID. Now it's had this big spike. It's a commodity chemical company. It has a 4.5% dividend yield. I do believe when you're looking at this stock, there's a very large margin of safety in here. But remember, the market likes to price this one at a lower multiple. So use, in my view, you would want to use the blue line when you're looking at LyondellBasell. So it's an interesting company, but I did want to take advantage of the opportunity here to illustrate, use this tool. Another thing you can always do, by the way, is you can scroll out forecasting on these tools and just look at recent growth periods. Now you're looking at pure historical growth here. So, we've had 10.5% historical growth since the beginning of 2015, but you also had this massive growth of 236%. What you can also do is you can pull out, anomalous numbers like that, and now all of a sudden you've got negative growth. So use this tool to analyze and may help you make more informed decisions about what's going on. Don't just look at the long-term graph and automatically assume that it's accurate and it gives you a good picture of what the stock actually looks like. And of course, you're always buying the future, so you always want to go to the forecasting calculators to give you a perspective of whether or not you should dig deeper into a research process or not. The next one is Reliance Steel and Aluminum. And once again, you see a lot of cyclicality, but you do see a high correlation between price and earnings in all these graphs. I want you to notice that. Again, we've had this huge rise in profitability coming up here in 2021. It's expected to have negative earnings for the next couple of years. The dividend yield is about 1.8%. Earnings yield is very high because earnings are high. But again, when you're looking at forecasting, you need to basically consider the fact that if we really have 2 negative years, this could have an impact on what happens to the stock price. In other words, if you were going to invest in this stock, even though it does offer a margin of safety, you want to be aware of the fact that there's going to most likely be bad news or bad earnings reports coming out here in the next couple of years. That's something when you look at these cyclical stocks, again, to always be cognizant and always be aware of. And then last but not least, Steel Dynamics. It's a pure steel company, as was Reliance Steel and Aluminum. These steel companies tend to be very cyclical. Notice again, you have almost the same relative picture, a very big surge in earnings followed by some collapsing earnings. You go to the forecasting calculators, you have to be aware that this might happen. Now, you have a good margin of safety here, and you've got about a 1.8%, 1.78% dividend yield and pretty good earnings yield. But you have to really consider and try to make a decision of what's going to happen if we really get these really negative earnings reports. They're talking about a 50% drop in earnings compared to 22, but that's still extremely high earnings relative to what historical norms are. Again, judgment is always required when you're doing these. Anyway, this has been Chuck Carnevale saying thanks for watching. That's the material sector, part 9. I've got 2 more sectors to cover. I'll be covering those in my next 2 videos. Then we'll be done with this exercise. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, ring the bell if you want to be notified of future videos coming up. And also, you might want to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, if you haven't already, you want to take a look at Fast Graphs. Take our freemium trial and get familiar with how the tool works, because you can instantly see what kind of company you're investing in when you have the advantage of the Fast Graphs Fundamentals Analyzer software tool. This is Chuck Carnevale saying thanks for watching.